Hi visitor, welcome back, and this is the second part in the 4-step auto hedging in Forex series. It occurred to me today that it would not be such a bad idea to have finally a broker that would actually provide an easy language and a platform for algorithmic trading. Currently, algo trading is very difficult to manage, and the future seems to be that less and less people have computers, and you should be able to run some kind of system, at least as a remote control from your cell phone. Now, if there was such a broker that would provide you with the account and run your softwares on their server, then you would not need a computer, but still would have control on your cell phone for turning individual features on and off, to make basic programming and changes. So that's as a lead up for an idea in this automated world. So we live in the era of automatization. AI is basically automated thinking. Tesla makes self-driving vehicles. MetaTrader is a tool with its MQL language to build your self-driving account that can fend for itself, and with auto hedging your capital can be armed with the capability to defend itself. Automated money generation may sound like alchemy, but this one can be done feasibly. My answer to auto hedging after 3 years of intensive practice is a 4-step system. Hedging is always done at market, for it is out of necessity. I had this ingenious routine that was putting out pending orders, deleting them frequently to recalculate the size, but it had one problem. Once the connection was lost with the trading server, the routine went into an exception and could not reinitialize itself. This is a major flaw. The infrastructure. You need a stable system that does not auto-update or restart unexpectedly. I myself run a Windows 7 Pro. You need reliable internet connection and a broker with fast enough server. Servers can be overwhelmed during major news events, leaving you with no fill on your order. Obviously, your auto trading button must be on to allow for hedging. I believe in gradual hedging, but the system I made is very unique. Hedging can be done with picking a maximum drawdown percentage. If you want to allow for a maximum of 30% drawdown before applying all the breaks, then you can use a percentage comparison between the account's equity and the balance. As you can see, we are thinking backwards again. The last step that we want to try to avoid is a full hedge, when the ratio drops to 70%. In order to eliminate the possibility to ever reach step 4, step 3 is the overhedging phase. What you have on the screen right now is the full hedge for shorts. So this is the full long hedge part of the routine. And the first thing to talk about is it has to remove stops and targets, and that's a routine at the end of the program somewhere here. And what these lines do is eliminating all the stops. So any buy stop orders, sell stop orders, buy limit orders or sell limit orders pending would be instantly killed. And furthermore, it would also close, actually no, it would there is an exception for magic number 3, but what it would do is it would just a moment, it would change both the stop loss and the target to 0. That is a way of eliminating them, and these lines would do it to every single open, sell and buy orders except for magic number 3. Now the next thing is the overhedging. Overhedging is basically taking on a greater size in the opposite direction. So if you are stuck with your shorts, this would be opening longs that would cover or equal out all your shorts plus some. In this case it's actually 25% more. And there's an interesting thing to show about this is when you are calculating the size, the net short and net long balance to figure out what is needed, then you actually need to fake that excess 25% does not exist, and that is done by, in the beginning, right here. So this is the number of the overhedge routine. If it's 53, then you only taking 80% of its value, 80% of the size, which is going to be pretending for you that the 25% overhedging never happened. Now the hedging is the ultimate hedge, the full hedge. It comes with no stop loss and no target, of course. And at that point, auto trading can be just turned off because it becomes useless. You manually need to shut down your hedge at some point, or you can cancel out everything and take the loss if that's your choice. That would be the maximum loss, of course. Overhedging is different. I actually consider this to be a trade, and the ultimate hedge, if we picked the number of 70% where it comes in, then this would be 5% earlier that you are trying to reverse the losses and start building equity. Now the overhedging is, like I mentioned, a trade, by which I mean that it has a stop loss, and although it's not part of this routine, but the stop losses would have some effect on this particular trade. Not all, they get some exceptions, but the stop losses are still affecting them, the overhedging. Before overhedging, we have the half hedge, and the half hedge also calls on that routine that eliminates all the stops and the targets, and this is again a hedge position, even though it's only half size. And what else to be said about it? So it does not have a stop loss. It's like and it comes on 10% earlier than your ultimate hedge. So that would be at 80% of the account you get this half hedge. So you can see now that you keep on trying to prolong that state and make equity along the way if possible, to basically avoid the end scenario where the resolution would be hand trading only. Before the half hedge kicks in, I inserted one more thing, and I call it the rope trade, and I put this at 33% of your holdings that you need to be hedging at some point. But this comes in even earlier, yet again by 5%, and that means that when the equity drops to 85% of the balance, then a rope trade kicks in, and this is a trade yet again, which means it has a stop loss and is affected by trail stops. Okay, I'm at that magic 10 minutes time frame again. It would be good to take a break here, and I'll see you in the next part when I'll talk about the remainder that I wanted to say about hedging. Thank you for coming, and see you in the next video.